Okay. The Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy needs to have several seats and shut up. I've had so many people ask me, aren't you impressed with Caleb Williams? Let me answer that in two simple words. Hell no.
And this is how we start. Let's get it.
No.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh, yeah! You may see a different time beginning next week, but had to make a quick adjustment this morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Manic, and I do mean Manic, Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This portion is presented by BetUS.com. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Snowman here. Vic Allah riding shotgun from Chicago. How are you, buddy? Hey, did you mute yourself again?
Phone call. What's up?
Oh, that happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got all juiced up with caffeine and you came in late. No, I'm kidding. How you doing this morning, man?
Doing well. Doing very well. Had to have a long phone call with an old friend of mine. And she's out in Columbus, and I want to send all the love and prayers and thoughts for her.
I'll do the same. Ms. Morris, we love you. We appreciate you. And I know your mom appreciates you in so many ways. Her journey is over. Yours continues in her honor, and we continue in your honor. We love you, Lisa. Now, let's get real.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What'd they say?
Shut up. Anyway.
What?
I don't know. I already know you're going.
Nothing wrong.
No, you didn't. But
and as I say that, my wife's voice creeps in my ear.
But I'm gonna put it like this. All right, we know where we're gonna start off, and that is with what happened during the preseason football game between the Chicago Bears and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right, listen. You know what? I wasn't going to open with this, but I better, because they're hear me and hear me well, Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy. Caleb Williams ain't got it yet. I'll concede the yet because he's a rookie and there's time that needs to be taken. However, You know who Caleb Williams reminds me of as far as an athlete goes?
Who?
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid.
Joel freaking Embiid. I'll
Why is
explain
that?
why in this sentence.
Okay.
Physical tools are great. Mentally, you ain't got it. Until you learn, Caleb Williams, that you have a team around you, you're going to be a bigger bust than Ben Simmons.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of people are saying, didn't you see the athleticism of Caleb Williams? Did you see the athleticism and how he's able to run through and, find the big holes? I'm like, yes. But again, that's going back to what made us want to believe in Justin Fields. It's the exact same thing. And what I saw, and people don't agree, what I saw was that Caleb Williams holds on to the ball too long.
And what I saw, along with the fact that he holds on to the ball too long, i.e. Justin Fields, is what did I say last week? His footwork.
Yeah.
Look at the times he was in the pocket, well protected, and yet he still got happy feet.
Yep.
And that ain't a good thing.
No. There was one, like the one where he made a rushing touchdown. You could tell that he was scrambling. It's like, I'm looking, and I'm like, you got two open receivers. Why are you not throwing it to them?
And why did you take so long to get to them in your progressions?
And right. It's like you have to start. They have to work on making quick reads with Caleb. I don't know if he's never had that before.
No, he's always had time. And that's the thing I've said about, that's the thing I'll continue to say about Caleb Williams. He hasn't got it yet. And I know that takes time. Some of the best quarterbacks, i.e. Montana, Steve Young, Randall Cunningham, many others had to take the time to learn to play quarterback. But I bring it to the mind of Bill Walsh, the late, great Bill Walsh. You know what he loved most about Joe Montana?
What's that?
His feet.
Right.
His footwork.
Because what's going to happen, I already see. Well, let's also look at that, right? You just said the key word. What has Caleb Williams always had? Time.
Time.
Something that he will not have behind that offensive line.
Nope.
Because
he won't.
I saw the exact same thing that I've seen every single Bears season.
The offensive line is a sieve.
Yep. The minute
that offensive line is horrible.
The minute they put one blitzer, that O-line falls apart.
And we've seen that so many times throughout the last few Bears seasons. Their offensive line is nothing but 5 300-pound turnstiles. Thank you, Cole Johnson.
And so that's going to leave Caleb with very little time, precious little time to actually go through his progressions. So they're going to have to teach him quick reads, how to read the defense quickly. And do you trust Matt Eberflus to show him how to do that?
Give me this button. Repeat your question, if you would, please, kind sir.
Do you trust Matt Eberflus, or if you call him Eberflus,
thank you,
to teach him how to make quick reads of the defense?
I believe this is your answer.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
And do you trust that offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, who came from Seattle, where he had to get Geno Smith back in shape? That should give you an idea how much they have in the shop right there. That should tell you, Shane Waldron. First of all, I'm just gonna have to put a quarter in the swear jar. Who the hell is Shane Waldron?
No clue.
Apparently, he was an offensive coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks.
You brought up names. Geno Smith. That should be all that you need to know.
Thank you. That should tell you. That should tell you everything you need to know about Shane Waldron. Don't ever, until I see different, and my ass is old. Okay, I've seen football for 4 decades. I've seen what an offense looked like, even with the evolution of football into the West Coast offense, in which every team in the NFL is running a version thereof. And again, I pose the question, and who's the godfather of the West Coast offense?
That'd be the man up in San Fran, correct?
Bill Walsh.
Mr. Walsh.
Bill Walsh. Now you have this version of the West Coast offense, which basically is a fast break. Get the ball down the field in less than 3 seconds. Unfortunately, when you have rushers that come after Caleb Williams and he gets happy feet, guess what's going to happen? He's going to go down.
He's going to go down, or he's going to throw errant throws. Because what do we all say? If you're going to start throwing downfield, you got to plant your feet.
Thank you, Victor.
Plant your feet.
Plant your feet.
Step into your throw, so that you get that trajectory. You get that power.
You know who had so many problems as a Bears quarterback in setting his feet? I believe his name is Rex Grossman.
Jay Cutler,
and to a point, Jim McMahon. And I say
to a degree.
Look, to me, the best. We'll save that for the next segment. But this is a snowman's take about Caleb Williams, and I stand by my words. He ain't got it. I know it's going to take time for him to get it. I know it's going to take a lot of practice for him to get it, but he was displaying the problems that you see with Caleb Williams right now. He was displaying at Southern California.
Right.
You know where his best days were? Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Go back to the 2021 season, especially the game where they beat Texas, which put Caleb Williams on the map anyway.
Well,
when they came all the way back and beat them.
Well, I mean, look at the Sooners. The Sooners know offensive lines.
The Sooners know offense from Barry Switzer to Lincoln Riley to I cannot think of this coach's name. Bob Stoops. There's the name.
Stoops. I mean, look at one of the top prospects who was in alignment. Dr. Steve Williams.
I'll give you another one. Trent Williams, best damn left tackle in the game.
They know
49ers.
They know how to protect a quarterback. And Caleb Williams he got kind of spoiled having a very talented, competent offensive line. You ain't got that in Chicago.
What was that? What was that second word you used?
Talented or competent. Yeah. You ain't got that in Chicago.
You can have all the talent you want on an offensive line, but if you can't put them together, then your quarterback's not going to do anything. Let me say 5 names that are familiar to my partner, Victor. You should know these names, left to right. Mark Tuinei, Nate Newton, Mark Stepnoski, Larry Allen, and Eric Williams.
Yeah.
The line of the 90s. And you replace Mark Stepnoski with Derek Kennard.
Yeah.
Okay. It should be very familiar. And before Larry Allen showed his big ass up, and I love Larry Allen. Love Larry Allen. You had a fella named Kevin Gogan out of Washington.
Right.
Competency along the offensive line, or lack thereof, is going to doom Caleb Williams and shut these moronic people in Chicago up. Let me give you another competent offensive line, left to right. These names should sound familiar. Steve Wallace, Jesse Sapolu, Randy Cross, Guy McIntyre, Harris Barton. Won you 2 Super Bowls with that offensive line.
Yep.
2.
Yes, sir.
The same with the line I just said for the Cowboys in the 90s. Tuinei, Newton, Stepnoski, Gogan, and Williams. You flip out Gogan for Larry Allen, and you got that 3rd Super Bowl that they won in Phoenix, Arizona.
And that's why Troy Aikman was able to step into his throws.
And as much as I hated the Cowboys of the 90s, I respect the hell out of how they were built.
Speaking of which, stepping into throws, Dak Prescott.
Save that for next segment. Save that, because I know there's some random musings, and I saw the same thing you did over the weekend. Okay?
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
And you wonder why I love you so much, just for those reactions alone. Anyway, to wrap this up, Caleb Williams, you ain't worth it. I said this on Rod Peterson's show. I've said this on other shows, and I'll say it here on my flagship show. Wasted pick, wasted money. And until you prove me wrong, thank you to the late, great Chris Benoit,
Mm-hmm.
I stand by my words.
I would say this. You're going to learn to go through your progressions a lot faster because you cannot hold the ball. You cannot hold on to the ball that long. You got to have a clock in your head to get that ball out of there as soon as
1,001,
possible.
what were we taught, Victor? 1,001, 1,002,
1,000. Yep. 1,002, 1,003, 1,000.
If you see a lineman at 1,003, get the hell out of there.
I mean, we used to do 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, throw.
Yep. And I'll say it again. If you see a lineman coming at you at 3 Mississippi, get the hell out of there.
Get out of there.
Get the hell out of there. It's pretty simple. And you know who you're going to love this one. Do you know who some Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy members, chief members, I say,
oh boy,
had the absolute unmitigated gall and half nerve to compare Caleb Williams to?
Who?
You ready for this?
Who?
Steve Young.
Okay. A little too early to pass on that praise, sir, or sirs, or madams. Or...
You know that. I know that. Caleb Williams will never, ever, 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 and a snowman means ever, be Steve Young. Ever.
He's got a long way to go.
And he ain't going to get there. I stand by my words when it comes to Caleb Williams. He sucks. As a prospect and as a quarterback. Can time change that? Absolutely. I had the same opinion about Anthony Richardson. But Anthony Richardson showed me something. I had the same opinion about one C.J. Stroud. And C.J. Stroud made a flat-out liar out of me. Right. And I said that the night of the draft. Victor was with me. Dietz was with me. C.J. Stroud made a liar out of me. Anthony Richardson is going to make a liar out of me
and
this season.
Now we need to see if Caleb can do that. And that line's got to get better.
That line's got to be replaced.
It does.
Let's just go ahead and say it the way it needs to be said.
Kick them all out.
That line. Thank you. Blow it up. Start from the beginning. Because you ain't got it.
Nope.
This offensive line is a sieve. And it will always be a sieve until the people upstairs figure out your product has to get better. And that starts where? With the offensive line. Take lessons from the Indianapolis Colts.
Please.
Hell, take lessons from the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know the next team I'm throwing at you.
The 49ers.
Take lessons from the San Francisco 49ers.
If nothing else, take lessons from the Houston Texans.
Man, look.
If nothing else.
The Houston Texans made a liar out of me.
Out of all of us.
And I don't mind one damn bit.
You know why?
You know why? Because as a sports fan and a sports journalist of some 28 years, I love being proven wrong.
Yes.
I haven't been proven wrong about LeBron James yet, but that's a discussion for another time.
That's just for Wednesday.
That's a discussion that might happen later. You never know.
Oh boy.
And I have reasons for that.
Okay.
I have reasons for that, but that'll be later. In the meantime, Caleb Williams, you suck. Period. Justin Fields, you suck worse.
He's Pittsburgh's problem now, so I don't care.
They still tie him to Chicago, though.
Of course they do.
Listen to the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy members. Who were they comparing Caleb Williams to?
Steve Young, as you just said.
Or Justin Fields.
Oh, and I still have people still proclaiming that Justin Fields should have stayed in Chicago. He was on the cusp of being something great.
No, he wasn't.
I know that, you know that, but
we actually think critically.
This is the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy. This is how they think.
We think critically, as you often say.
Exactly.
When you all get it together, Chicago, then maybe you can come talk to me. But as a fellow who has watched football since 1980, I've seen better.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all ain't it. That's Snowman's take. What is yours? Coming up after the break, the random musings of as he goes off on his Cowboys. And I know every single reason. Trust me. Then the reasons are quite valid. Very valid. Beginning next Monday and on through season 11, Snowman in the Morning will come your way at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're early today because I had some things happen where I can open it up, but McCoffee is not going to be with us. So what's going to happen as I give you this programming note, on Mondays where we had Ryan open the first hour and Jay close the second hour, that's going to flip. That's going to flip. And that begins next Monday. And I can't find the button I'm looking for. Dag nabbit. So let me just say, back in a flash.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. This portion of Snowman in the Morning is brought to you by SeatGeek. Get $20 off your first purchase by going to SeatGeek.com and using the code Snowman Multimedia. And that's how you get 20% off of your $20, I should say, off of your first purchase. Hey, did y'all notice the return of something? That's this. That 49er show comes to you live every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. My good buddy Andre Fernandez riding shotgun as we take you to and through New Orleans. And yes, I'm throwing a very broad hint there.
Very bold prediction right there.
Find the lie. Look, I did a special Sunday interview with Deb Whitkus, very, very dear friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And she and a few others think the same thing. It's about the 49ers and the Chiefs and no one else. Who's playing for what's the bar rate? Who's playing for third place?
Yeah.
All right. Victor threw a name out by the name of Dak Prescott.
Yes,
and I think Victor had a few things to say about them Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're good. So here we are, the absolute debut of the random musings of Victor?
Yes, sir. So I've been looking at a little bit of some of the clips and highlights. I use that term loosely when it comes to Cowboys and their training camps. No, that I actually went back. And started looking at just Dak Prescott's play since he started. You know what I noticed?
That he hasn't had it. I'm sorry.
That
got a turn.
Since he got paid, his play has been awful.
Since he got paid, he sucked. I'm sorry.
And not only that, is that he almost refuses to step into throws. He has been known to throw off his back foot numerous times.
Mm-hmm. Green Bay Packers playoff game, anyone?
Now, we brought that up about Caleb Williams, but here's the difference. Caleb's a rookie.
Yes.
That can be fixed.
That can be fixed.
That can be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Repetitions, a bit, him getting more snaps and getting more comfortable in that pocket, getting more comfortable with his offensive line.
Right.
That can change. That can be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Dak, you don't have that same excuse. It's been years that you've been in the NFL. And I was happy for you to get your money because I thought you earned it.
Mm-hmm.
There's one problem.
You haven't done anything?
You do well in the regular season. You are a regular season quarterback. That also kind of goes to, sad to say, Joe Burrow. We also believe is a regular season quarterback.
Josh Allen.
I'm not even say Josh Allen. Josh Allen's bad even in the regular season. Kyler Murray.
Kyler freaking Call of Booty Murray
is a regular season quarterback.
Kyler's
does really good in the regular season. Can't get to the post. I wonder why.
Kyler's not even a regular season quarterback. He sucks. Period.
Russell Wilson.
Oh God.
I don't know Russell Wilson because he has gotten to the postseason more than a few times.
Russell Wilson has a Super Bowl title.
There you go.
Russell Wilson has a Super Bowl title. Should have 2 Super Bowl titles.
He should have 2, but then
he should have 2 Super Bowl titles.
But we believe for that.
Pete Carroll opened his mouth.
Yes, and put his foot in it.
Mm-hmm.
You have become a regular season quarterback. Everyone expects you to do well in the regular season.
Except when you go to Santa Clara. I'm sorry, did I say that? I'm sorry.
Santa Clara, Philadelphia. The DC area, if you really want to get technical with it.
Washington Redskins.
Heck, last year you lost to Arizona.
Yeah. In a game, you should have blown the piss out of them.
You should have destroyed them, even if they had a new quarterback.
You should have blown them to smithereens. You should have blown... The Cowboys should have blown the Arizona Cardinals to smithereens. And they lost by double digits.
Yep. Out of the water.
Which made me laugh out loud because where'd the Cowboys go the next week?
With New England.
Wrong.
Yeah, week 3 they went against
3-4. Okay, 3 against 4. 3 at Arizona, 4 they blow out New England, and
then we
don't know what happened next.
Yeah. But the thing is, again, like I said before, you don't step into your throws. You become more willing to tuck and run. You become more willing to throw off the back foot, which we've seen the problems with that. It's almost like you forgot your fundamentals after you signed your big check.
You said a bad word.
I'm going to say it again. Your fundamentals
Say it louder.
suck right now.
Say it louder.
Your fundamentals suck right now.
How dare you swear on my show? Yeah, I'm saying that to him, and I've said that. Wait,
Jack, you need to go into the film room or do something.
mm-hmm.
This is your last year. This is your prove it year.
And he ain't proving a doggone thing.
You got no excuses now. They gave you Zeke back. Why, I don't know. And I'm kind of mad at Zeke too, because Zeke should have told Dallas no. Because I'm Ezekiel Elliott. The one thing I remember was that you clowns put me at center against the 49ers.
On the last play of the game.
On the last play. You guys put me at center. No, I'm not coming back. Absolutely
Absolutely Oh, jeez.
But it's like I said, Dak has become a regular season quarterback.
Yep.
Which is fine in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
What we do not expect Dak to be is a game changer. Particularly in the postseason.
Oh, dear God. You just gave me my next segment. I'm going to improvise. Thank you, Victor. Go on, please.
I mean, it's going to point that you're just as bad as Cam Newton.
Oof. Oof. Woof. Woof.
FTL. You know what that stands for?
Go on.
Find the lie.
I love that. Hashtag FTL. And look, I'm looking in this camera and I'm going to turn this into, I'm turning this into a bit. Find the lie.
It's gotten to the point where even the teams that you beat just sit back and smile and said, okay, let's see what happens in the postseason.
Uh-huh.
Can you get past the wild card? How about the divisional round? How's that treating you?
Don't say
you can't even sniff the NFC Championship game. And look, I said it before. Even if the Cowboys do exceptionally well, and I do mean like 12-5, 13-4, is not going to mean much because, unfortunately, you got an uphill battle to climb against San Fran because they just got too many horses. And I would totally be fine with that if you guys make a competent game out of it, make an actual good game out of it.
You said a cuss word again.
If you make a competent game out of it where it just came down to like a last-second field goal or maybe a last-second touchdown by Brock Purdy, I got no problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
You lost to a better team. I can't get mad at that.
No.
But it's when you shoot yourselves in the foot. And then you got the Manic Republic sitting there saying, well, we got them next year. Don't worry about it. We got them next year. We're going to Super Bowl next year. You trust us on that.
May I pose a question?
Mm-hmm.
Who told this lie?
The Manic Republic.
That's fair.
It's just gotten to the point of getting so frustrating for the rational Cowboy fans.
You, Deets, King Dog, Big Ben. Who I'll have back this week.
And we're just listening to you guys, and it's like, do you guys actually hear yourself talk?
For that would be to listen. That would be to listen. I'm sorry. For that to happen, they would have to listen.
The problem is that, unfortunately, we as Cowboys fans, the rational ones, are held silent because Manic Republic is too doggone loud.
Yep.
And then on top of that, they're being led by the general of the Manic Republic in Gerald.
Dear God.
Who's probably on his 5th battle of Jack Daniels, might I add.
Only 5.
Talking about giving teams capital punishment. How'd that work out last year?
He said that before they got pounded by the Washington Redskins.
It's just it's getting to a point where people don't even say they're Cowboys fans anymore. Even if they are, they refuse to acknowledge themselves as Cowboy fans. Because the same things follow us. Oh, are y'all going to Super Bowl this year? How about them Cowboys sitting on the couch like last year? To the point where now we have, and I can't believe I'm going to invoke this name, but it's just for a case of example. Tyrone Alexei McDummy singing the blues about being called them boys.
Hey, ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved? Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still involved. Woo, oh, shut up, my boy, shut up. I'm still involved. Oh, I'm still them boys. I'm still.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
It's just ridiculous. And this is who we have to represent us? That's who we have to represent us?
Dear God.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It needs to change. I'm going to be honest with you guys in Cowboys Nation. We are no longer America's team. We are America's punchline.
Oh.
We have become the butt of every NFL joke. Even teams who nearly go winless, like the Cleveland Clowns, will sit there and say, well, at least we ain't the Cowboys.
Oh boy.
It's become embarrassing to be a Cowboys fan. But if we start really looking critically at our team, and there have been some semblances of optimism, having some offensive line help, which was great. Getting some new receivers so you can take the load off CeeDee Lamb, that's also good too. Shoring up the defense, which is also good too.
But
it's always going to come back to number 4. It's going to come back to Dak Prescott and seeing if he could step up past the small step ladder and show up bigger than mini-me.
Completed. Finish it.
You can no longer show up shorter than mini-me on the smallest step ladder and the smallest hell in the cell. You have to be bigger. You have to show that you deserve to wear that blue star.
Yep.
That's what we need to start doing. We need to start looking at these players, start actually venting these players and see if they really are worthy of wearing that blue star. And if they're not, they get that star ripped off them and they get kicked out of Jerry World.
They get the boot.
They get the boot. I'm tired.
You know who should be kicked out of Jerry World?
Jerry.
You read my mind.
Gerald. He should be the first one kicked out.
You read
Second, hand my Pennywise. Kick them both out.
Kick them out.
And keep them separated. In the words of the late, great Owen Hart, enough is enough and it's time for a change.
Yes, indeed.
Because I, for one, am tired of the term, how about them Cowboys, being used ironically.
Yeah. There hasn't been any real meaning to the phrase, how about them Cowboys, since January 17th. January 17th. There goes, there goes my Southern twang. Doggone it. I read another word and that happens. January 17th, 1993. Any Cowboy fan that's worth their salt remembers that day. Scene of the crime, Candlestick Park, San Francisco, California.
And I'm going to say one last thing before I turn it back over. And it's to someone who I have admired for such a long time. The playmaker himself, Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin.
Brother man, you have been one of my favorite wide receivers since I was about 7 or 8 years old.
I love the playmaker. Love him.
You have been one of the pinnacles of receivers next to Jerry Rice. And I say it's 1 and 1A because I cannot deny the amazingness of that of Mr. Wide Receiver himself, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
But you have got to start calling out this team. You have rings. You know what excellence looks like. You've played with excellence.
Hell, one of my favorite Cowboys, besides the triplets, is the Moose.
The Moose.
Darryl Johnston. Oh, and never mind. Finish, Victor.
So you know what excellence looks like. And you know that this Cowboys team is not excellence. Get a hold of Jerry, take him to AA, give him some support, and tell him you need to be an owner. Because it is time that Cowboys Nation start demanding excellence from what used to be an excellent franchise.
Agreed.
Thank you for listening to my musings. Mr. Sick Diggy, as always.
Uh-oh. Where'd you go? Oh, man, Victor bored out on us. Speaking of Sick Diggy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. The Dallas Cowboys of today are where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were back in the 80s and early 90s. Even before that, the late 70s. Tam reminds me of Terry Crews. Are we sure they're not the same person? I'll answer that later. Screwball VPN, the VPN all the way out in left field. Oh, geez. Well, while Victor gets his technical problems together, we'll take a break. And when we come back, I have some words for some people that think Brock Purdy is still not him. Yes, we're going there. Back in a minute.
I want to do do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
When you first get into football, especially when it comes to the preseason, you get into the preseason, but then you don't. Now,
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
this portion of Snowman in the Morning is brought to you by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless.
Seems like in my earnest, the Moroccan Republic has tried to silence me.
I saw.
Actually, my battery died. Anyway, got some ads to come up with.
Already read them.
From my man. Oh, you got them already?
Already got them. Now, let me pose I shouldn't, but I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
I've posed this question before. I'm going to continue to pose this question until I get a logical answer. And therein lies the rhetorical question.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'm going to need it.
Okay.
Why are there people that still don't believe in Big Lock Brock?
Big Lock Brock? Is that the new name now?
It's an edited one.
I know the other one.
You know the joke within, and I cannot say it here
no,
on air.
You cannot.
I cannot say it on air. And
the last thing you need is a shoe from the legendary Dr. K being thrown at your head.
Forget thrown in my head. She'll put it in my ass. Speaking of Dr. K, the latest contribution to my office. Courtesy of Dr. K.
Very nice. Very nice.
I swear this girl's a legend in finding finding off the wall stuff in my office. So one day when I get my new car next month or in 2 months, I'm going to return the favor.
We did get some news. The big dog is on assignment, but will return soon. We certainly hope so.
He will.
We miss you, dog.
We will.
We really do.
And for those of you who don't know how much of a 49er fan I am, there's a gift that my lovely daughter Cheyenne gave to me, and it looks like this.
You a 49er fan? No.
Never.
Absolutely not. I thought you were a Bears fan. I mean, you're from Chicago, right?
I'm gonna sock you right in the mouth for that. But you already know.
Absolutely.
You already know.
But the question, Big Lock Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he
like
still?
I said, I can't say it another way, or I'll get in serious trouble.
Say that
especially with the networks we're airing the show on. So
let's save that for that 49er show.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Ever since Brock came into the league, he's had a lot of asterisks, against his name.
Mm-hmm.
Too young, only had a couple years experience, hadn't had any memorable games, and then the most memorable game that he's a part of, he quote unquote choked. These are things that I have heard.
Same.
The game manager label. Famous put on him by Cameron Jarrell Newton.
I'm gonna growl.
You already did growl.
No. How did I say it before, Victor? As long as you know me, I'm gonna bitch.
Mm-hmm. But to me, it's like every time I hear these labels or these arguments, is they start holding less and less water. Because he made it to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 years.
And he's going to make a few more.
Hold on. In 3 years.
Yep.
He has done something that Dak Prescott has not done in 8.
And remember, Brock Purdy was thrust into the action due to an injury.
Mm-hmm. After Jimmy G.
After Jimmy Garoppolo. Absolutely.
Jimmy G went down. Because Trey Lance was terrible. So they got rid of him.
Oh, Darian, the Kansas City Chiefs screened us to death. Yes. But here's where I pick on my buddy Darian, and I'll have a chance to pick on him later today. At least we got there. What can you say about your Raiders, who couldn't stop a cold in the preseason? I'm kidding around as I say that. I'm kidding around as I say that. And I'm also kidding around as I say this. And Darian knows I'm picking at him mercilessly. Mm-hmm. Who's the team chasing Christian McCaffrey on the cover of Madden?
Well,
folks, I have to listen. Darian Hopkins is a good brother. He's a very dear friend. And I pick on him mercilessly as much as he picks on me. And we have fun doing the Darian.
I had the chance to sit in on his draft party. That was so much fun.
You know what? Listen, Darian provided so many legendary reactions during that draft party. That draft party.
Just the Bo Nix one. He was so shocked with the Bo Nix pick.
I think which one? I think he was more shocked at Brock Bowers.
Oh, yeah, Brock Bowers. Yeah, Brock Bowers. That's the one. That's what, not Bo Nix.
Yeah, I think he was more shocked about Brock Bowers.
Yeah, the Brock Bowers one floored him. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I think the entire country was floored by the Michael Penix Jr. pick. Thank you, Atlanta.
You better be lucky. I was drinking when you said that. Yeah, he was more shocked at Bowers. Wait. Was it Bowers or is it Darian?
It was Brock. It was Brock. It was Bowers.
I think it was Penix where he was more shocked at. And speaking of Michael Penix, let's get to that. If y'all didn't see the conversation I had with the lovely Deb Whitkus, go check it out on the new YouTube channels, youtube.com/@SIT Morning. I'll put it in the chat here in a minute. Man, now Deb is going to sock me in the nose for saying this.
Uh-oh.
Michael Penix should get the keys right now.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
And look at Darian. Darian said, "Damn you Falcons, we wanted Penix Jr."
Hey,
because the Raiders don't have a quarterback.
Darian, if it makes you feel any better, I hold on to my statement that the Falcons have effectively choked during the draft.
Because
it makes no logical sense.
They paid 4 years and $180 million. Say it with me, y'all. To Kirk Two Chainz Cousins.
Why? Just why?
Now I love what the Falcons are doing there with the offensive weapons that they have, and God help you, Kirk Cousins, if he can stay healthy for 16 games at age 36, coming off of a major injury.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Darian says we tried to trade up to get Penix, and they didn't budge at all. No. And it's going to be a while before the Raiders actually have a quarterback because Gardner Minshew ain't him. We saw it in Indianapolis. And I'll get to the Colts at the top of the second hour.
But it's just they made such a boneheaded play. I was like, I effectively think that the Falcons just choked the draft. How you do that, I don't know.
He said choke the draft.
There's one thing to choke a game away.
Wait a minute.
It's a whole other thing when you choke the draft away. At least the Bears couldn't mess it up.
No comment.
They had the first, they couldn't mess it up. They had to go with who they had to go with, and that was Caleb. And
wait a minute.
God bless you for that.
Darian, I'll honor your request. Seems our boy Darian Hopkins. Where is it? Damn it. I can't find that's 4 quarters in the swear jar, by the way. I can't find the bite I'm looking for. Yes, I can. It's right here. Darian got engaged over the weekend. Here you go, buddy. There you go. There's our celebration right there.
Congrats, my man. Congrats.
Now, what were we talking about? Right? No. Darren's reaction to the draft choices.
So the Penix Jr. was one. The Brock Bauer one, like I said, bit of a shock, but we kind of understood.
Well, yeah, because they no longer had Darren Waller.
Right.
So you got to have a key weapon to throw to.
And like I said, what is Atlanta going to do with Penix? Because you're not going to give him the football week one. Sad. No, that's not going to happen.
Especially when you paid so much money and given 4 years to Two Chainz Cousins.
Right.
I can't get that name out of my
what
head.
that means to me is that unfortunately
I can't get that nickname out of my head. Damn you, Ben Sutter. I can't get that name out of my head.
Understandable. It's a good name.
I can't get that name. I can't get that name out of my head.
So what that means to me is that Michael Penix is going to languish in Atlanta for at least a season, if not 2.
If not 3. 3.
No, 2.
I give him 3. I give him 3 seasons because they're going to find every way to stitch Kirk Cousins back together. But
he ain't going to last 2 seasons.
No.
He is not going to last 2 seasons.
That's my feeling. Kirk
Cousins is going to become the Anthony Davis of the NFL if they try that.
You wrong, but I see no lies.
It's bad, man.
You wrong, but I see no lies.
It is bad in Atlanta.
It is.
It's cold in hot Atlanta. That's how bad it is.
It's horrible in hot Atlanta. Like I said, I hate it.
Like I said, what are you going to do?
Yeah. At least they're not coached by Arthur Smith anymore.
That's true.
At least they are not coached by Arthur. And Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
From bad to worse in Pittsburgh.
If that don't tell you what you need to know about this coming season, which will be the first losing season for Mike Tomlin.
It definitely will be. It definitely will be.
They trusted Arthur Smith, and we're just talking all kinds of football right now, folks.
Mm-hmm.
They trusted Arthur bleeping Smith. Arthur Smith.
They trusted Arthur Smith.
They trusted Arthur bleeping Smith.
They trusted Arthur Smith, and they're going to be headed by Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Make this make sense. Please, I am begging you.
In the immortal words of the late, great Rob Bramlett, who was for 30 years the voice of the Auburn Tigers, oh, my Lord in heaven.
Make this make sense. Sell this pitch to me. Please.
You can't sell it to me, and I'm not a salesman. You can't sell this to my crazy ass.
Speaking of pitches, and we'll talk about this later.
Oh no.
What in God's creation happened to my Southsiders?
You know what? I'm glad Pedro You know what? Let's take a break.
Yeah,
let's take a break. Let's reset, and we'll talk Southside baseball or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Because, dear Lord in heaven, I can't even begin to explain what the hell happened to my White Sox. Second hour Snowman in the Morning comes your way after these.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
The Cats and Bolts podcast officially will be aired on the Snowman and the Snowman Multimedia Sports Network. I just got the okay from Rod Peterson, and we're going to be one of the distributors of the award-winning Cats and Bolts podcast. Thank you, Rod, for that. Very, very dear friend.
All right.
Doing a lot of good stuff. Okay. 11:05 is your time. Welcome to the second half of Snowman of the Morning. Still a bit incomplete because I haven't gotten all of the video tools that I want yet, but I am going to do this. To the White Sox organization, sit down. Let's start a little further back. October 26, 2005, we heard this.
A ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field.
One of my proudest moments as a White Sox fan, because my beloved team won the title and I got to celebrate it with my dad. Seeing 2008 when Jim Thome. Matter of fact, let me just walk y'all down memory lane. Now, I became a White Sox fan in 1982. All right. When my dad took me to my very first White Sox game. We had Greg Luzinski, Carlton Fisk, Tony Bernazard, Lamar Hoyt, all those guys. A year later, I saw our team win our first division title as long as I've been watching baseball. Okay? That was the winning ugly team of 83. Lost to Baltimore in the ALCS. Didn't win another division title until 1993 when we beat Seattle, and I was at New Comiskey Park for that one. Lost to Toronto in the American League Championship Series in 6 games.
Right.
Then nothing. Nothing until 2000 when we won the division and got swept by, of all teams, the Seattle Mariners.
Mariners got their revenge.
What the was that? Okay. Then 2005, Magic happened. White Sox won it all.
Don't stop believing.
2008, Jim Thome got us to the playoffs with a home run against the Minnesota Twins in game 163.
That was a back-to-back in 2006. That was a back-to-back in 2006. They
lost that division to the Detroit Tigers. We had a 3-game lead in 2006.
That's right.
We had a 3-game lead in 2006, but then Detroit kicked our ass in a 5-game series. 6 years later, same thing happened.
We are almost on the cusp of 19 years.
Actually, we won the division in 2008, and then we won it again 13 years later in 2021 when we kicked Cleveland's ass.
Well, I'm saying to win the division. I say we won the World Series. It's almost 19 years.
Right. It is 19 years because it sure as hell ain't going to happen this year.
No.
What happened? I'll tell you what happened.
Greed.
It's the same thing. No, it's not even greed. It's the same thing that has happened with the Cowboys. The old guard will not let it go. The old guard will not rebuild the thing. Now, I am glad of 2 things. One, Grady Sizemore is the interim manager, and he has invoked some kind of life in the White Sox. The second thing, even with all the tanking that's going on, they are rebuilding the farm system, and they're bringing up some arms for evaluation, because the way you build a championship team, hello, Houston Astros, is with pitching. They got to get some better arms, and that's going to take about 3 years. I already know this. I have conceded to that.
Right.
but Pedro Grifol had to go. Period.
Yeah.
Because he was not doing anything
to help
worthwhile to help the White Sox cause. Period. So, with all that being said, I'm glad he's gone. And I'm glad a new regime is coming in, because I can't stand all this losing. I ain't a Cub fan. Nor will I ever be a Cubs fan.
You're not gonna be sitting for 100 years.
I'm not used to waiting to see my team succeed. Okay, I'm not a Cub fan. I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm not a Knicks fan, and I'm sure as hell not a Cleveland Cadavers fan. I'm used to seeing the teams I cover and the teams I love win championships. I hope that happens soon. Speaking of the Cubs, a little walk down memory lane from my buddy Victor.
Pierzynski with 2 outs, top of the ninth. Well hit, right field. White Sox take the lead. AJ Pierzynski says, take that, Cubs fans.
One of my favorite calls that I ever made to that man right there.
Yep. Because Victor was in my ear when that happened, and we all know what happened after that.
Yep.
Okay, this is our little stroll. Thank you, Cole Johnson, for that. But I'm glad they're pushing the plunger and starting completely over. Let the young guns come up and play, and just get rid of all these retreads. Andrew Benintendi. Who else? Just get rid of all the retreads and just let some young guns play. Do what you did in 91. All right, which led you to the title in 93. Get the young guns up and let these kids play. Please. That's my only plea. Let the kids play. Let them figure it out.
Yeah, like we know there's gonna be growing pains. We get that. But
yeah.
To sit there and retread. I mean, you guys haven't even used the things that we got us to the doggone World Series.
And you got to put better talent around Luis Robert Jr. And to Luis Robert Jr., please find a way to stay healthy. That's why we had to get rid of Eloy Jimenez. He couldn't stay on the field.
That's true.
Only time he stayed on the field most of the year was 2021. That's when we had all our big boppers in the lineup, and that is how we won the division. Then we went up against the Houston Astros and got clobbered.
Well, I also go back to the fundamentals that we had in 2005. Small ball. RISP.
Runners in scoring position. Man.
With runners in scoring position.
That game I did with the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago White Sox last year, and Victor was riding shotgun with me for that call. Every time they left runners in scoring position, they left a total of 13 runners in scoring position that day and lost the game 3-1. It kept pissing me off.
I will say this:
get a team and they couldn't get a runner in scoring position. There were a total of 6 innings in that game. The first, the third, the fourth, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, where they had a runner in scoring, at least one runner in scoring position. On 2 of those occasions, they had the bases loaded
with no outs.
And couldn't push a run across. Matter of fact, the 8th inning, where they had a chance to blow the game wide open, get the lead at least. What happens? A strikeout and a double play within 4 pitches. Victor saw the look on my face, and I was disgusted.
That's why I said, like, that game, I've seen the White Sox lose worse games. I have. That one disgusted me. Because that was what you got in the World Series for, was that situational hitting, was that hitting run scoring position. You knew how to do that better than anyone else. You relied more on small ball than it was the home runs, even though there were a lot of home runs to be had.
Yes.
From Joe Creedy to Juan Uribe, Paul Konerko, Jermaine Dye, Frank Thomas.
I mean, they had everything there.
You had everything there.
But in a positive manner, I say, thank God the old regime is going bye-bye.
Yeah. They need
and they bring some baseball people in to fix this doggone thing.
Please.
And I thank you, David Kaplan, one of my good buddies back home, with that phrase.
Please.
So
because this has gotten bad.
Look, this is a apocalypse. Apocalypse.
Yeah,
it is. Bad. This has gotten terrible, and I'm tired of it. Us White Sox fans are tired of it.
Well beyond.
And I guess when you bring in a lot of retreads and expect them to pick up your offense instead of letting the kids do what they need to do, you deserve everything that you're getting. And the White Sox deserve everything that they're getting right now. But the back part of that is they are bringing in some new blood. They're letting the kids play, and they're going to figure it out. I say they keep Grady Sizemore as their permanent manager, but that's a decision for upper management to do. Now, with all that being said, get up. Whew. I needed that.
That needed to be done. That
needed to happen. That absolutely needed to happen. Let me say it. I know I missed it yesterday. Let me say a happy birthday to my good buddy Joshua Jackson, celebrating his birthday over the course of the weekend. Let's take a break, and when y'all get back, some more ramblings, and then Jay Spivey is scheduled to join us. Meanwhile, when you first get into football, especially when it comes to the preseason, you get into the preseason, but then you don't. Now, I'll find a better way to edit that.
That horn.
I love that horn.
I know you do.
I love that horn.
However, that horn's been etched into my nightmare since week 5.
No comment. Every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time, me and Andre Fernandez present That 49ers Show, presented by SeatGeek. Back in a minute.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, If you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. This portion of Snowman in the Morning is brought to you in part by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Bottom of the hour, we're scheduled to see Jay Spivey. But football, and even more football here today. The preseason is going. I'm waiting for the regular season to start, in particular September 9th. What are you looking forward to this season, buddy?
Week 1. Just to see what week.
Uh-oh. He lost his mic again. Well, I'm looking forward to week 1 also. Victor, you unplugged your mic again.
Okay.
There you go. So what are you looking forward to?
Week 1. Like I said, I want to see what our teams are capable of. I'm talking about, of course, the Bears, the Panthers, the Cowboys. Just see where they're at. Where they're at. I mean, I'm pretty.
Why are you so apprehensive? This is an obvious question, but I have to.
Go ahead.
Why are you so apprehensive when it comes to the Cowboys?
Well,
like I said, I already know the answer to this.
But like I said last time. It's like I said last time. I like to take it one step at a time.
Right.
I want to see what happens week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's start week 2 and then week 3. I want to see it on a gradual progression. I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, we're going to Super Bowl." I know we have no idea what we're gonna be really what product we're gonna be putting out there. The product is trash. I'll be the first one to say the product is trash.
And this is a Cowboy fan saying this, folks.
Well,
this is a Cowboy fan saying this.
I have been so fortunate to be on this show now for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like a little guest host and now being on the show pretty much full time when I'm able to.
Yep.
I've had the honor to do that. And I get kicked around a lot. I'm tired of having to report to the floor to get kicked. Every time the Cowboys lose, guess where I'm at? On the floor getting kicked. I would like for that not to happen, please.
What would you like not to happen, sir?
I would like to not be kicked like a freshly kicked and washed puppy.
What? Because the Cowboys suck?
Because the Cowboys, yes.
Like I said, folks, this is a Cowboy fan saying this.
I want the Cowboys to be good. I want the Cowboys to be great. Like I said,
now you're asking a miracle.
Well, look, right now our Super Bowl window is closed because right now it's the 49er and Chiefs show. I have to admit that.
For the next few years.
And I would say for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the next 3 years. Now, could someone
I'm
play spoiler?
I'm going to ask you a very, very fundamental question that I ask people this and they don't want to think about it. Why do you think it's the 49ers and the Chiefs window for the next 3 years? At least 3 years.
Well, let's put it this way. You got a renaissance in CMC. Brock Purdy hasn't even touched his prime yet.
Mm-hmm.
You got Ayuk locked in. You got Debo locked in. George the Animal Kittle is George the Animal Kittle. I mean, the Niners have just so many horses and so many weapons that it would take a monumental miracle for someone to stop them. Can someone play spoiler? Sure. Will someone play spoiler? Yeah. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing goes for the Chiefs. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes.
It's King Patrick.
It's Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't touched his prime yet.
It's King Patrick's world.
It's very rare you have two really great quarterbacks. Neither one have touched their prime yet.
And that's the scary part.
Exactly.
That's the scary part. We know Brock hasn't touched his prime yet. What's even scarier, neither is Patrick. Exactly. And Patrick has 3 titles.
So
Patrick Mahomes is better than Jordan Love. Okay? Because I got a friend, Trey Larkins.
That's academic.
Very dear to me. I'm gonna get Trey Larkins on the show, so just so we can pick at him. But I will tell you all this: the dude knows his sports. All right, the dude knows his sports. But I want to get him on just so I can make him laugh and pick on him. But I love what Jordan Love is showing so far, and he's much better than Caleb Williams.
I'll put it this way: Jordan Love is not scared.
No,
and that's
thank you, God, for saying that. Thank you, Victor, for saying that aloud.
And that's something I have to give him credit for. I may not like him,
but you have to acknowledge he's not scared.
He's not scared. And
I love that. I love that about Jordan Love. Hell, Jordan Love frightened the hell out of me in January.
Right.
All right. Jordan Love frightened the daylights out of me. If there's 2 throws, and I've talked to so many people about it, if there's 2 throws he'd like to have back, it's those 2 interceptions to Dre Greenlaw. He doesn't make any of those throws, the Packers upset San Francisco. Period. Period. And so as much as I talk mess about some quarterbacks, Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, and others, listen, folks, if you know nothing else about me, as much as I pick on people, I give a true analysis of players on their chosen field. That I will always do. Always. But then you got some people that think, oh, you don't watch any. Oh, give me this bucket. You know, you're flowing along, and then all of a sudden a thought comes in your head that just like messes you up.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought of some. Yeah. I need to address something.
Uh-oh.
I need to address something. Not that. And I'm not even going to put an intro in front of it. I'm just going to address it right here. To all the people that hate me like you hate Brock Purdy, shut up. I had, over the course of the weekend, and I showed you, Droid, and Shane the evidence in our group text. I made a post on Facebook, which is probably going to be my last one.
Right.
That Jack Sigma played a better, more fundamentally sound forward than LeBron James.
Oh, no.
Yeah, open the floodgates.
Oh, boy.
Open the door. Why did I open the door like that?
Why did you open the door like that?
I was just stating an opinion, and you know what they say about opinions.
Everyone's got one.
And they're like something else, but I won't say it here.
That's why I just said everyone's got one.
My statement was the following, and I quote, Jack Sigma played a more fundamentally sound forward than LeBron James ever will. Period.
And followed with FTL.
Ben Wilson called me. Give me this button.
No.
Give me this button. Ben Wilson called me a fucking moron. The guy that posts dumb all over the internet. He called me a dumb. I'm not going to hold back because you have sensitive and ignorant takes. You're a fucking idiot.
Says the one who's losing his mind over the fact that someone has a disagreement.
You know what the best part about all that is?
Uh-huh.
He never refuted my statement.
Because he can't.
I'm not doing the whole Ryan. I'm not doing the whole thing. I know it's Monday, but I'm just addressing this moron here. No, say it right.
Senor McCoffee. Senor McCoffee.
Espresso McCoffee.
Espresso McCoffee and his villainy.
I am just addressing this fucking idiot that, and he's like so many other people online lately, which is why I don't post on Facebook that much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this, like I said, this is why I don't post that much on Facebook anymore, because it's toxic. And
as much as I dislike this human being for all the crap he's done, including basically destroying a football franchise, there is one quote that I will always quote from one Antonio Clown. When he said, "Keep your feelings off the internet."
He's right.
Of that, I absolutely agree.
I agree.
And it's something that bronzosexuals do all the time. They fight with their emotions. They do not fight with their brains.
And let me just go ahead and say it this way. A lot of people fight with their emotions and not their brains. I have been accused as such, and I can honestly say I have done such.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that. But when it comes to this, there's a reason why I say some of the things that I say, and it's not just because.
It's not just because you hate the person.
Listen, what have I always said about LeBron James? He's a fabulous athlete.
Fabulous athlete.
He's a fabulous athlete. Okay? He's a fabulous athlete. His basketball acumen, however, comes into question for me.
Yes.
I'll leave the rest for Wednesday. Okay? That is what I have always said and what I will continue to say. That is what I will always continue to say. But these idiots get in their feelings. A lot.
Right.
They get in their feelings, and they think just because they're projecting their feelings onto me that I'm going to react to them. You know what I did? The smartest move I ever made after I asked them, why must you call me names? And where is your respect? After he responded, the best thing I could have done, I shut up.
Oh.
I don't need to block his ass. Because I'm going to give him enough rope and he's going to hang himself.
Fair enough.
I'd love to block him, but it just seems too easy. I want to stand back and watch the fun.
Watch them flounder.
Watch them flounder.
That makes sense. It's just like, to me, it's like using racial slurs whenever you get caught in an argument, which I've had done to me multiple times.
Same.
Where I've had arguments with people and I'm just bringing up, my own statements and my own facts that I have looked up and researched.
Listen, I've been there with you. Hell,
right.
We worked at Chicago State for 5 years.
Exactly. And then, of course, oh, well, you're just an N-word, you're this, you're that. It's like, you had to go there because you have no arguments.
Because he can't refute the argument.
You can't refute the argument, so you have to go into name calling.
Let me borrow a word that my buddy Clark Monroe uses.
Mm-hmm.
These fanalists need to quit.
I like that.
Clark Monroe came up with the word in a positive fashion, and I understand where he came up with. I understand why he said it. Okay,
right.
But some of these fanalists can just suck it. They need to cease. They need to cease. They need to absolutely cease. If the other side start calling you names, you win the argument because they have no other comebacks. Absolutely. Yeah, I've been at this for years.
I agree. And that's how you know. That's why you stop. That's why
I say, look, all I said respectfully, and all I will continue to say respectfully was, why must you call me names? And then it dawned on me, they can't refute my point about Jack Sikma.
They have no argument. So they have to go into that childish mode.
I even used the cuss word. Fundamentals.
That too.
speaking of fundamentals, there's a very dear friend that's a fundamental great that that's a great. You know what? I'm gonna bring him on. I'm gonna bring him on right now. Won't even take a break. Won't even take a break because I know he's got some things to say.
Yes, he does.
And it's my fault that I haven't had him on, but we're getting together right now. Let's go to North Carolina. Welcome back, Jay Spivey from North Carolina. Jay, how are you, man?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Mr. Spivey, how are you?
Doing well.
I'm
vacated and ready to go.
Hey.
Just got back from the beach a couple days ago. I'm vacated and ready to go.
Good.
Nice.
Good. Jay Spivey is another dear friend of ours and a dear friend of the show who says the truth about what's going on in sports and gets killed for it, i.e., North Carolina Tar Heels.
Oh, it's more than that. But if you want to go along those lines, okay. They crushed me for my quote-unquote opinion.
Yeah, I've heard from Tar Heels to the Panthers.
Oh, well, yeah, I get it. All sports,
Hornets.
all levels of sports, it doesn't matter.
And all you do is espouse what you see on the field or on the court, on the diamond. That's all you do.
Bingo.
And the fact that I'm outspoken, people cannot stand that.
They can't stand it about us either. They can't stand it.
Tell me I need to stay in my lane.
Who told you that?
Here's something that drives me, and I'm sure you guys hear this too.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm a sports writer and follow sports, apparently in this world that we're living in now, I'm not allowed to know anything else about anything else. I'm supposed to stay in my lane about everything other than sports.
Really?
Oh, I hear it all the time.
That's one of the most clownish takes I've heard in a while.
We get it. We get it too. Lord knows I get it.
Yeah,
I consider myself a halfway intelligent person. I follow a lot of things other than sports.
Yeah.
I consider myself pretty well versed in a lot of things, and it's not just sports. So for anybody to say about whether I be a sports writer or somebody who's a politician or somebody who's a business person, you can't do more than one thing in life. Are you kidding me?
I guess not. I guess you have
I
to be
guess not.
of one sound path, and that's it. I mean, it's one of the most clownish things I've heard, but I'm not surprised.
Nor am I.
I mean, mind you, I'm the same person that always hears that the Cowboys are going to Super Bowl every year. So you know what EDC I hear every year.
Gosh. Well, the 4-letter network constantly talks about them. I mean, it could be the middle of March, and we're talking about the Cowboys.
Yep. Or the Lakers.
I'm so sick of hearing about CD Lamb. My goodness, and will that get his money?
No, he will not.
No.
I've said already that this is probably Dak's last year. That if he does not make it to at least the NFC Championship,
they're not going to.
You're right. They're not going to.
They're not going to.
This is a Cowboys team, and I've used this word. Jay has used this word. Hell, Jay's been using this word about the Cowboys as long as he's been on air with us.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Cowboys team that is in complete disarray.
Not only that, I mean, we're going back to Zeke Elliott. He's like 90 years old.
I mean, after being put up as center against the 49ers,
you probably
would gain some age. You probably would gain some age. But it's like I said before earlier today, Dak has become a regular season quarterback, and that's it.
That's all.
You really trust? And in the games where they're playing better teams, can you really trust him?
No, not really.
Can you trust? I mean, the 49ers own him. They own him.
They do. Yep. With lease in hand.
With lease in hand, and the signature's dry on it.
And frankly, the Packers have owned him.
Yep.
The Eagles have owned him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
The whole division, even the Washington Redskins have owned him. Remember, 3 years ago, they had a chance to snatch the division. And then they went to Washington. And that happened.
And that happened.
And he always seems to get hurt at some point during the season.
Yep.
That too.
Last 3 years.
It's just it's like I said, that's just what I have to deal with. Whatever.
But this is the Cowboys being hyped up as the Cowboys. I mean, it's like
that's true.
My goodness, jeez. And Jerry, of course, he's always got to be on there. My goodness.
Jarrell had to be center of attention as per usual because you can't get away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we care? I know he's technically the general manager, but why do we care what he says?
Why do we care what he says? Why?
Do you ever see any other owner in the NFL have post-game press conferences after every game?
No.
Not even David Tepper with his giant ego does that.
Not even Virginia McCaskey.
Not even Virginia McCaskey. Nope. And the best run teams, Kansas City, San Francisco, Philadelphia, they certainly don't do that. They let the players do the talking.
Exactly.
Right. They don't need to.
Do you ever see I like that. I mean, it's just you never see any other owner do this. Never.
Nope. Nor have a weekly radio show.
But
he
needs the attention. It's the source of his power. He needs attention. It's the source of his power. He can't. He's like a vampire. He needs it like a vampire needs blood.
Right. That's right. That's true. That's true.
And it's disgusting to most of the Cowboy faithful because they're like, dude, our play has not been good. Why do you keep going on these shows and going on these podcasts and make an utter fool of yourself? Which then trickles down to us.
That's an understatement.
And they're on national. They could be 5-10 and be on national TV
on primetime. Yep.
And it's like I'll use a comparison that Jay uses a lot, and it's so true. The Cowboys can be 5-10, and they get the national spotlight and the national games. It's just like the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees fighting for third place in the American League East. And guess what? They're on Sunday Night Baseball.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, we're never going to see a Royal on Sunday Night Baseball.
Oh, not even a chance.
Never. Shockingly enough, I don't know if you've seen who's on this coming Sunday night. Shockingly enough, the Mariners and Orioles are on this week.
Wow.
And you know why the Mariners are? I'm surprised at that game because of A, how well the Orioles are doing. B, the Mariners are trying to keep up with a suddenly surging Houston Astros team in the West.
Who jumped from 10 games out to 4 games up.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't people believe in let me ask Jay let me ask both of you guys this question. And Jay, I'll begin with you. At the top of the season, when we did our predictions, everybody came to me, you guys included, and you say, who's going to win the American League West? Without blinking, I said the Houston Astros.
Mm-hmm.
And I get questions of what about Seattle? What about the Angels? What about the A's? The A's are in their own state of turmoil. They don't even know where the hell they want to play. The Angels, the same thing. They're playing in a dilapidated Anaheim Stadium, which they decorated with scoreboards and everything.
Well, they can blame that on their not the stadium, but they were talking about this during they played the Braves over the weekend, and they talked the Braves are now the Angels not only blew it last year, but they blew it 2 years ago. They should have traded Ohtani, but Artie Moreno refused to do it because of how much money they were making off of it.
Yep.
Wow.
They could have had a pot full of prospects coming in if they would have traded him 2 years ago. And last year.
They were right there.
And they got
right in the position
absolutely nothing for him living and going to the Dodgers.
Got nothing. They got nothing for him, and now they're going to languish for even longer than they're languishing right now.
And they frankly should have traded Mike Trout 3 or 4 years ago.
Trout was never going to be the man for the Angels.
Well, it's too late now. He's too hurt.
Yep. He can't stay on the field. You know, a player that I mentioned earlier in the show that had a ton of talent but can't stay on the field, who recently got traded, Eloy Jimenez. The White Sox were expecting him to be one of the saviors of that team, and he can't stay on the damn field.
I think I might have told you this. A lot of those really good prospects that ended up with the White Sox and some other teams as well played right here for Winston-Salem.
And for the Winston-Salem Dash.
And I covered every single one of them when I was with the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And I interviewed almost all of them. And I was like, I interviewed all of them. I said, what do you think about this? Because when you guys get to Chicago, you are going to be really good. Well, they did get there, and they never meshed. Never.
No.
Now they're absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to the point where they may need to find another superstar because Luis Robert may be gone next year.
Oh, he's not going to be playing that next year. Frankly, they didn't trade enough players a couple weeks ago at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
They should have traded almost the entire team.
And they didn't. You got to stockpile your prospects right now and just push the plunger and start all over.
It's just, and I'm gonna go with the reverse on the Orioles. And I was watching MLB when I called you guys.
Mm-hmm.
The Orioles should have traded for a starting pitcher, probably a bat, with all the capital they have. I mean, they have so much talent in their minor league system and major league system, and they didn't do it because they're more worried about next year than this year. Well, go for it this year while you got a chance. You don't know what's going to be given you next year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true.
And now the Yankees were going to win the division because they didn't go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hate seeing it play out like this. Trout's gone back to the Angels. Trout's gone with another injury. I think I'll go ahead and say it. I think Trout is finished.
He might be because his knee,
think Mike Trout is
cannot
finished.
keep his knee healthy. He might very well be done. And that would be sad if that were true, but it could very well. You never know in the injuries. You never know. Especially meniscus. You don't know.
Yeah, meniscus is usually a really bad injury.
I had
and
to
at
deal
some point, that's going to be bone on bone.
Mm-hmm. I had to deal with that. When I was heavier than what I am right now, I had to deal with that, and I nearly lost mine. So I know that I know that's painful. Speaking of painful, and now we're gonna laugh. The Carolina Panthers.
Oh,
I did make a preface to say we're gonna laugh. Did I not?
Well, I can't even laugh at how bad they are.
All right, here we go with the rhetorical question. Why not?
Well, I know they played it. Let's see, they played the Jets this past week, but I'll go back to the last week since we didn't talk last week.
Right.
I know it was the first game of preseason last week. I get that.
Yes.
But who would pay to see the Patriots and Panthers play a preseason game?
Not I. Not I.
I mean, my goodness, how bad is that? They're probably the two worst teams in the NFL this year.
I mean, you
could not have paid me enough.
You could probably put those tickets in a Cracker Jack box and might get a couple people there.
Maybe.
Might.
Yeah, might. Operative word.
Thank you, Victor. Might be in the operative word.
They're terrible.
Awful. Awful, man.
And I know it's preseason, but they cannot score. They cannot score.
Listen, even the 49ers, with the problems that they have and the missing pieces that they have, put up a better fight against New Orleans than what the Panthers did. Panthers and Jets, for that matter. I would have been surprised if that preseason – I would not have been surprised, I beg your pardon, if that preseason game, Panthers and Jets, would have ended in a tie.
Well, I don't know how you guys are. I used to watch, especially weeks two and three, when it was 4 preseason games. Before, especially back in weeks 2 and 3, I used to actually enjoy the games because you could see prospects and see what guys were. Now, all 3 games are terrible. Nobody of any relevance playing. It's awful.
Honestly, I used to watch all 4. I used to watch all 4 weeks of preseason football.
Same
here.
Watch
all 4 because I
did too because it's football, but.
It was football, and it was fun to watch. And as you said, Jay, from a fan's eyes and a journalist's eyes, you get to make your evaluations and see and try to think of what the coach is thinking when they make their evaluation. I
tried to watch the 49ers Saints game last night. I tried to watch the Broncos, Packers, Broncos and Packers last night.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't watch them. I mean, a few minutes here and there, but I mean, when you got 3rd, 4th, and 5th string guys, and maybe some lower than that, I mean, who wants to see that? And the starters never play anymore.
No, they don't.
The starters don't play because they're worried about them getting hurt, even though this is the first time you can actually see people who are supposed to be prospects actually get snaps to see how they're going to assimilate to the offense.
Right.
I mean,
and don't get me wrong, I cannot wait for the season to start in 3 weeks. I cannot wait. And
I can't either.
I schedule my whole Sunday around the NFL.
Same.
I don't do anything but watch football on Sunday. But the first couple of weeks is going to be horrible because nobody's played.
Mm-hmm.
The tackling will be terrible. There'll be a lot of penalties. It will be terrible for the first couple of weeks.
It is. And it's going to take a couple, maybe even 3 weeks to have everyone get their act together because they didn't play in the preseason.
Knock the ring rust off.
Yep.
It's just it's.
Speaking of ring rust and speaking of evaluations, let me get Jay's honest evaluation of one Caleb Williams.
I think he's probably. I know he's played a little bit here and there the last couple of weeks, but I think he's probably exceeded expectations because he's handled himself so well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I mean, clearly, getting rid of Justin Fields. I mean, he can't even. Between him and Russell Wilson, I mean, they don't even know who's going to be starting with the Steelers.
Pittsburgh's going to become.
I don't think there was any question. People are still debating on what you should do, whether you get rid of Fields or draft Williams. It's a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer.
Pittsburgh's going to be.
And the fact they got Williams and Roma Odunze in the same draft.
Yep, 1-9. 1-9. Should Odunze be the number one wide receiver?
He's not because of what they just did with DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Which leads back to the statement. I first said it here. Jay heard me. Victor's heard me. Everybody in the chat has heard me say it when they signed him. Dear Chicago Bears, you have now mortgaged, and with the contract extension, you have now risked your entire future for DJ Moore.
And if you watch Hard Knocks a couple weeks ago, there was really not much of a debate.
Nope.
They pretty much just gave it to him, and they didn't really discuss it with him.
Exactly. They gave it to him without even blinking.
You know how we used to call the St. Louis Rams the greatest show on turf?
Yes.
The Bears are now known as the dumbest show on grass. I'm just
well, you know how I feel about it. I've been saying this ever since he was with the Panthers when our friend said he was the greatest thing in the world.
Oh,
he's had a good year, especially he's had a good last couple of years since he's especially been with the Bears. Maybe he just had to get away from the Panthers, and I'll give him that. He has played well.
I will give him that also.
To me, he's not an elite number one.
No, he's not.
No,
because everybody. And here's the thing: the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy wants to come to. After I said the statement I said about DJ Moore, and I will continue to stand by it because you can see it in the offense. The only reason DJ Moore led them in receptions and yards, and Justin Fields had the season he had was because out of a sheer unadulterated necessity because there's no offensive line on that Chicago Bears team. None.
And there was no option. Who else were you going to throw the ball to?
No,
maybe Claypool.
That's true.
Oh God,
Chase
Claypool.
Chase
Claypool. Not fool.
Maybe Komet. I mean, that's it. Like you it was basically DJ Moore or bust.
Listen,
so they had to make it work.
The Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers share a common denominator, and that's their inability to develop players into the superstars that people project them to be. Bryce Young, hello.
The Bears have never had a quarterback.
They've never had a franchise quarterback. Ever. I mean, been watching football since 1980. You can tell me
was good, but I wouldn't say he was an elite quarterback.
You know the best quarterback this is from my opinion and my opinion only. You know the best quarterback that the Bears had, and I'm talking about in the 40 years I've watched them play. His name is Eric Kramer.
Sexy Rexy?
His name is Eric Kramer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Sexy Rexy.
Listen, Jay, you know me better. INT Rex, exactly. Jay, you know me better than that. Okay, there are some people that you and I both know that will say Sexy Rexy is the best Bears quarterback that they've had, which is a falsehood because there was a fellow named Eric Kramer who was more consistent than Jay Cutler, Rex Grossman, and Jim McMahon put together.
I'll even go as far as say Jim Miller was really good. Yeah, he
Jay
definitely
Cutler.
had a commit.
Jay Cutler was a head case and still is a head case.
And will continue to be a head case.
And he brought along his
Brandon Marshall,
now ex-wife, with him.
Oh,
dear God!
And that was another issue in itself. That was like a soap opera within itself.
Mm-hmm. That was a big soap opera. And my mom, my late mother, would always tease me about why do I like the 49ers more than the Bears. She was a Bears fan. All right. She was a Bears fan. And she'd always ask me, why don't I like Jay Cutler? I'd look at my mother and I go, have you seen him play?
Yeah. He's so inconsistent.
That's
all I can say. Have you seen him play?
My only issue with Caleb Williams right now is from what I saw against the Bengals, I think he holds on to the ball too long.
Well, I'm going to go back to what I said about preseason. We don't know what he's going to do. We don't know what he's going to do.
And no one's showing their full hand.
And nobody's throwing any kind of real defense at him.
Right. Exactly. That's why I was
that part, Jay Spivey. That part. No one's throwing a real defense at him.
That's what I was thinking. Like they were like he's scrambling, and they're not even throwing like their real defense out there.
They're not even coming.
Well, it's not. I'm not even talking about just the players they're bringing on. They're not bringing any real defensive schemes against him right now.
No,
they're not going to show their cards in the preseason.
Mm-hmm. Of course they're not. Of course they're not. And you shouldn't.
And let's face it, I know we've suddenly gone to rookie starting all the time. We'll get quarterback, but he's going to struggle.
He is.
And I have a feeling as good a year as C.J. Stroud had last year, and he did have a great year.
He did.
My bet is he's going to have a sophomore slump this year.
You think so?
Yeah, because you're going to have some bumps and grind. You're going to have some trials and tribulations.
You know what? As much of a liar as C.J. Stroud made out of me, I wouldn't be surprised if he did struggle.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's going to struggle, but he's going to have some ups and downs this year.
Right.
Because you better believe, especially people in his own division, have been working on him all summer.
Exactly.
If I may ask a question, what were your thoughts, Jay, about the Falcons, in my opinion, choking away the draft by drafting?
Oh my God, that's just the dumbest. I mean, why in the world you sign Kirk Cousins and then draft a quarterback?
You know what? Listen,
I said
when I saw that live, okay. Victor was with who was with me? Victor, you were with me. I think Dietz was with me. My wife was nearby, and she was watching the draft with me. And we got to talking about the Falcons. And saying how good of an offense they're going to be now that they have Kirk Cousins in tow. And then that happened. They grabbed Michael Penix.
I said to Brian, I think right now every team in the NFC South is laughing at Atlanta just for that.
Mm-hmm. That was a total Arthur Blank move.
It is.
I guarantee you that was not the general manager's call. I guarantee you that was Arthur Blank.
I guarantee you it wasn't the general manager's call either. I guarantee you. The only thing and I know Deb Whitkus is going to laugh at me for saying this, but the only good thing going on in Atlanta right now, they do have some pieces. They don't know who's going to run the offense. And I mean, even with Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins in tow, even with Michael Penix in tow, who gets the ball for week 1?
Well, even if we do have my bet is we're eventually going to have a quarterback competition at some point this season. So you gave all this money to Kirk Cousins, and probably you're going to either get rid of him or trade him at some point when the money is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. And what did I say, Snowman? They started a quarterback controversy, which they didn't need.
They did not need it.
They did not
and they need so much more than a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They do. I don't even know why they picked up Kirk Cousins, but they were desperate. They needed somebody.
It's like I said. It's like when the Bears mortgaged their future for DJ Moore. The Falcons did the same thing for Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, we got to get out of here. Jay Spivey joining us on the program as he does every Monday, and I promise he'll be back every Monday. Got everything together. Thank you, Jay. Love you, brother. Thank you so much. We'll do it next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.